Can't sleep. Trying to manage the flesh prison video. Yeah. Living with asthma is so much fun. No, not really. Yeah, I was trying to sleep, failing to sleep. I thought about the fact that, oh hey, I've never shared my asthma journey with you guys. How it started, how it got full blown, just all the stuff. So I'm gonna manage the flesh prison, and I'm gonna share that with you. So y'all know I went to the ER on Wednesday night because my asthma got super flared. It'd been a while since it got that bad. So I wasn't really sure what was going on because it'd been a while since it'd been really bad. But yeah, so what happened at the ER was they did all of the you have a nasty asthma flare. And you know you're screwed. You know you're deeply screwed when they pull out the IV steroids. Not the prednisone, the IV shit. You know you're in deep when that happens. Because usually if you're just kind of flared and you fell behind on your treatments and stuff, they'll give you oral prednisone, breathing treatment, send you home. No. That wasn't what happened. That was IV steroids and a really heavy breathing treatment. So yeah, I was in very rough shape. They sent me home with scripts for prednisone, for more juice from my nebulizer. ER doc was really cool. He even re-upped my Trulicity, which I've been out of for months. Although, because it's Trulicity and it's the trendy weight loss drug, it's out of stock at my pharmacy. All of the pharmacies that's in the chain that I use. I use Walgreens. And so it's out in all of the pharmacies in the area because people want to use a diabetes medication for weight loss. Yeah, we'll talk about that another day. That's another day conversation. Today we're talking about my asthma. This is actually symptoms of I was having a bad asthma flare because no sir, we're not doing that. And this is not a chat for children. If you are under 18 and you cannot act like an adult, adios yourself or I will help you leave. Alright. Bye-bye. But yeah. This is, we're talking about, dude, I am married. Do not proposition me. I am married. I am not putting up with that crap in my chat. I am married. Respect that or go away. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about my asthma. If you don't want to deal with that chat, go away. It's very simple. It's not difficult. But anyways, so yeah, this is not a result of the prednisone. The prednisone is actually why I'm patchy, that's actually my eczema trying to heal. My arms were really bad. They're getting a lot better. And if you understand asthma, if you understand eczema at all, eczema is an internal, it's a sign external that something really nasty is going on inside. Whatever's going on with your skin is usually a sign that something bad is happening inside your body. Yeah, it's my channel. I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to delete comments that I don't like because it is my channel. If you don't like it, you can leave. It's real simple to scroll on. So if you don't like the conversation and you don't like the way I run my channel, you can take yourself and fuck off into the forever, and it won't hurt my feelings at all. Oh, well, yeah, you think I'm shit? Well, guess what? I am the shit. Goodbye. No, not Angie. I am defending my territory because this is my channel and I can do what the fuck I want. And if you want to join the banished, that's cool. I'd rather not, but that's your choice. But, back to what I was talking about. The eczema is actually a sign of what is going on inside my body, where people cannot see. And I ignored the fact that my eczema was getting really bad. And basically, your skin is made out of the same shit your lung tissue is. So when this gets to looking ugly, it's really bad inside. And actually, because I ignored that, I got IV steroids. Dairy combats the side effects of prednisone. The very unfriendly side effects. The one that I'm combating right now is nausea. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of prednisone, but I like what it does. It helps heal my lungs. It helps heal my skin. Yeah, eczema is an autoimmune condition, and it will flare up when you get too hot, when you get stressed out. Well, hello. I appreciate that, Swedish mom. But yeah, when you get stressed out, when you get too hot, when you've got something bad going on in your body, if you have eczema, that's when it will flare. And because my asthma flared up really bad, well, you get the lovely, lovely eczema all over the face and all over the arms and sometimes the belly and sometimes the legs. At least that's where I flare. And it's not just the skin on my head that you can see. It also flares under, on my scalp, under my hair. But you can't see that because I have hair. Oh, golly, excuse me. That's actually a good sign. It means the milk is working. It's neutralizing the excess stomach acid that the prednisone is causing. I'm sorry about the view of my ceiling. It's just where I'm sitting right now. And I know the Snickerties are lurking. I don't really care. They can, as long as they're lurking and they're not being actively rotten, that's okay. I'm getting there. Trying to get there anyway. This is just the process of recovering from a major asthma flare. Lots of steroids. Best friends with the nebulizer. And making sure I take my damn allergy pill, which is something else I've been slacking on. Applesauce because I'm doing a version of the brat diet. Brat diet being eat anything that does not make the stomach angrier. Oh, hello, Molly. Come on, kitty. Come on. Come on. What? There you go. Today's guest star, the Molly cat. Hello, Molly. Are you going to knock the light down on me again? Where am I at? I am in the Kansas City metro area, the extreme south end. Oh, news on my porch. The porch is going to be partially replaced. We actually have two. This is Molly, and also her brother Doodles, who is somewhere. He's actually orange light. He's orange light, and he's a tuxie. So he's buff colored. Thank you for the butt shot, Molly. We really appreciate that. Yeah, I know. 2 and 10. And she's my second girl. My first girl I got when I was in college in 1999. Yes, I'm dating myself. No, I don't care. But yeah, when I was in college in 1999, I got my first orange kitty. Her name was Andy, and she was my baby princess. Yeah, they do. They're very chatty. Not so much anymore with the dancing and the music. Well, I love the music. I love to do the music, but dancing not so much. The body does not like the dancing that much anymore. Oh, so Molly is going to sit where we can see her and admire her gorgeous self. And because I've had Molly and Doodles since Molly and her brother since they were 3 weeks old, they do speak a modified version of English. Because I talk to them all the time. I've talked to them since they were teeny tiny. When I was feeding them, I was talking to them. And they learn. They're just like little kids. They learn what we teach them. So she speaks cat, and she also speaks a little people. When she comes up to us, she will say hello. When we come in the house, she will tell us hello. She will say hello, mama. It's not the clearest because she doesn't have people vocal cords. She has kitty cat ones. But what you listen for is the syllables. That's what they get really good. Oops. Sorry. Yeah, her in frame a little bit. Oh, yeah. They think that their love can cure everything. Although their purring when they're laying on you does solve some problems. But yeah, I'm I'm fixing the gut problems that um oh, half Maine Coon, half Norwegian forest cat. That's yes, they do hit a frequency that is good for healing. Well, for us and for them. Okay, Dana, we are not doing the hey beautiful stuff. I am married. Let's keep it on task. And what the task is right now is I am trying to resolve a prednisone reaction. So yeah, my asthma. That's I am in the Kansas City, Missouri area, the extreme southern end of the Kansas City metro. I'm not quite at Harrisonville, but I'm just a little bit north of it. But yeah, dairy fixes a lot of things. I feel sorry for people that can't have dairy because their bodies don't like it. Oh. But there is a certain percentage of the human population that can't have dairy. And I find that very sad for them. Because it does help with a myriad of problems. The reaction I'm having to the prednisone being one. Yes. Well, you know why we love cheese? And why we love cheese and dairy in general? Cheese is just a more concentrated version, which is why it hits us harder. Uh, Dairy has properties in it that hit the same receptors in our brain that opiates will hit, like like heroin. It'll hit the same receptors heroin will hit, and that's why it gives us that happy. That's also why it's kind of addictive sometimes. But no, I'm sitting here trying to heal my body. Trying to get back to normal after my lungs went rogue. But no, how this all started, I wasn't asthmatic growing up. I did have some allergy problems, but it wasn't really bad. Didn't start getting really bad where I needed to take allergy medication regularly until I was a teenager. I was a teenager. I was in my 20s when I really started having to take allergy medication on the regular. And then when I was, it wasn't until after my dad passed away. And something that should be noted, especially if you live in the United States, there are certain things that landlords and home sellers are required to tell you about. One of those being that the residence that you are about to take over was a former meth lab. That's what really caused my asthma to be as bad as it is today. Used to be, it would flare when I would get sick and I'd need a rescue inhaler, and then once I got better, once I got over the illness, the asthma flare would go away. But then I worked for a daycare in Independence, Kansas. Please respect my religious beliefs. I don't push my beliefs on you. Please do not push yours on me. But yeah, I worked for a daycare in Independence, Kansas. And I was promised a bunch of things when I first started working there. We were trying to clean up a previous daycare that was there. We were trying to clean up the image and revitalize it because that daycare was the only place that some children had to go. Children from low income families, children with food allergies, children with some behavioral issues that no other daycare would take. We were where they came. So we were trying to keep that going for them. But I was promised a bunch of things, and most of them did not happen. The one thing that I was promised that did happen was they found me an apartment that was right across the street from the building the daycare was housed in. The problem with this apartment was the previous tenant and her little child. Based on the artwork we found, I would say they were probably kindergarten, first grade, maybe second grade. Yeah. This woman and her child were living in an apartment where there was an active meth lab. I didn't find this out until I'd lived there for 2 months. 2 months in to my residence in this apartment. I find out from the maintenance guy. Not the landlord, not the property management, the fucking maintenance guy. That's how I found out. That's not how it's supposed to happen. You're supposed to be told before you ever sign the lease. No, but I've been accused of it. And this is my body telling me, hey, dummy, take your meds. That's all I need for right now. Important thing I almost forgot. Generic Zyrtec. My allergy pill. I don't drink rum. Rum's nasty. But yes, we have the all-important allergy pill. Oh, shoot. No, don't go away. Come back here. I need you. All-important allergy pill. And then our friend, Mr. Mucinex. Always use name brand, not generic, because generic Mucinex doesn't work near as well. Hello and welcome to I don't care if this glass has milk in it, so it won't for very long. Of course, we need liquid with which to take our very yummy pills. One thing I found about prednisone, it could use a coating. Yeah, prednisone could use a coating, and so could the Mucinex. Secret to taking nasty tasting pills. Liquid first, and then the pill. Oh, damn you. Allergy pill got away. It's alright. There's more. Allergy pill is coated. So we don't have to deal with that. Okay, come on, Molly. I don't know why you're being such a twerp. I fed you. She's been fed. I don't know why she's being such a pain in my butt today. And yes, I am a lid licker. I like to get all of the good out of my food. Yes, hello, Molly. I'm being stared at by a furball. Good morning, Truth Hunter. Right now we're talking about the joy of asthma. Oh. New York. Very cool. So are you up there around Buffalo? No, I do not smoke. Because it's kind of silly for someone who is asthmatic to also be a smoker. I know it happens, but no, I do not smoke. I've never smoked. I've never really seen a point in it, especially because... Oh, up by Syracuse. Okay, that's cool. Well, buddy, if you need some rum, go get it and make yourself happy with it. Kansas City. I currently live in the Kansas City, Missouri area. I was born and raised in Oklahoma. So the anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing really hits me hard. And that was just last week, then on the 19th. And I can do the whole where were you when this happened? What was going on with you? And if you've existed and been impacted by something like that, even this many years later, I was a junior in high school. No, I don't, bub. I really don't. I don't do I don't vape, I don't smoke, I don't nothing. This is bad enough without any of that. But yeah, I was a junior in high school. I was 16 when the Oklahoma City bombing happened in 95. I was in a part of the country that I felt was safe because there was nothing really important around where I lived. There was nothing really important that terrorists would find important. No, I was wrong. A bunch of us were wrong. Because you don't just have to worry about terrorists that are outside of your country, you have to worry about the guys that live here, that were born here, that were raised here, that served in our military. Because serving in the military, no, it was 95. Yep. April 19th, 1995. That crazed asshat killed 168 people, wounded 600. 19 of the 168 that died were children in a daycare. Think about that for a second. This crazy asshole intentionally killed 19 children. And most of them weren't even children that were employees of people that worked in the building. Some of the children that were in there were children of people that worked in the courthouse blocks away. So he intentionally killed kids that didn't really have anything to do with anything. That's crazy. That's evil. That's just something that I can't even fathom. And I was 16 trying to deal with this. My boyfriend had just turned 18 a couple months before. He had just gone through boot, and he was in the National Guard, and he wasn't sure that his unit wasn't going to get deployed to go provide security for the bombing site and to prevent looting and stuff like that. Well, Oklahoma, we don't do that shit. We don't loot. We help each other. And that's exactly what happened. Is there was no looting. Everybody was shocked that there was no looting. But that's an Oklahoma value. We don't do that. If we can help you when you're working, we will help you. But we will not interfere with your work, and we will not make your job harder. We will help you when we can. And that's exactly what happened. Things that I had going on that day, I'd gotten sent home from school. I was in first period. They sent me home because I was disastrously sick. I was one of the few kids that they always sent home when they were disastrously sick because I was not capable of existing as a human. Still not. When I get sick. Sure, Tamara. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad all of y'all are here, listening to me spout my crazy. Talking about my health and terrorism that happened when I was still trying to figure out what the world was all about. When I'm sick, when I'm really actually sick, I am a non-functional human. I'm a paperweight when I am sick. The type of asthma that I live with, because I lived in that active meth lab of an apartment that I wasn't told about. Signs that you are living in some place that there was an active meth lab. Where it was, you will smell the distinct odor of rotten eggs, and the floor will probably have a nasty brown stain. Those are telltale signs that you've been lied to about where you're living. I lived in that apartment from March until June. And that's when things started getting very untenable for me. I was the sickest I have ever been. I had the worst case of bronchitis that I have ever had. And it lasted for months. And it tore my lungs up. And after that, every time I got sick, I would have a really bad asthma flare. And it just got worse and worse over the next 10 years. Yeah. No, what tells me that this was an active meth lab that was in this apartment was in the front bedroom, which is also her daughter's bedroom. Wonderful mom. Uh, there was a dark brown stain in the middle of the floor. When my mom and I went to clean that stain, when we were pulling up the liquid from the carpet cleaner, it smelled like rotten eggs. And I did some research afterwards, and that is a telltale sign that there was a meth lab there. The problem with a meth lab in any residential environment is that shit goes into the walls. It permeates the entire dwelling. So that whole 4 apartment building, it was a house that had been converted into 4 apartments. That whole building was contaminated with this stuff. And I guarantee you, none of my neighbors knew. I didn't know until the maintenance guy told me. And in July, I was moving out because I was so sick I couldn't work. I couldn't walk across my house and breathe. It was very bad. For a few years, it got significantly better. And then in 2017, up here in, we'd moved up here in Kansas City by that time. And the tree pollen levels just got so high that even people that did not have problems with their lungs, with their breathing, anything like that, they don't normally have allergy problems. People that do not normally have allergy problems were having bad problems. And that year I had the second worst allergy flare that I've ever had. Asthma flare. My cognition is not yet back to normal. That's one of the things that happens when you're not moving air like you should. And that's actually one of the big things about what asthma is it shuts down your lungs to the point where you are not moving air effectively. And there are parts of your body that really, really like to have oxygen, like your brain. If you're not getting enough oxygen, your brain is not going to work like it should. And I'm still struggling with that. It's not where it should be yet. Because I'm a trained singer, I know how to cheat it. Doctors are always impressed when I go in and I'm having a bad asthma flare. If I have to go into the ER or whatever, they're always impressed that my O2 sats are like 95 and above, even when I am deeply compromised. And that's because when I was in college, one of the things that I studied was choir singing. I was in the college choir, their concert choir. I could have been in their select choir, but I didn't really want to. That was a major time commitment that I couldn't really afford. And yes, if y'all want, I will, once my lungs recover enough, I can treat you to a little demonstration of my skill. But tonight is not the night for that. I'm still very compromised. I'm a lot better than I was, but I'm still not great. Right now, I don't have the power to do it, and again, I can cheat it because I've been doing this for 30 years. But I know that it is not a good idea because it will just make what I'm dealing with worse. So it's better to just get the lungs healed up and then do it. Um, but yeah, 2017 was the worst allergy season up here in Kansas City that they'd seen in a while. Do you suffer from asthma? Um, because the ways to deal with that, make sure you're taking whatever your primary allergy medication is on the regular. Yeah, you have to do it daily. If it's a 24-hour allergy medication like Zyrtec, take that once a day. If you're doing something that's every 12 hours, you do that every time that it calls for it. So with a 12-hour medication like Claritin, if you're on regular Claritin or Claritin D, you're going to take it every 12 hours. And of course, the 24-hour Claritin, being breathless, you need one, a nebulizer, two, a rescue inhaler. Sometimes I've been on, when my asthma has gotten really bad, I've been on oral medication. Yeah, that's what the rescue inhaler is for. Is when you're out away from where you're going to be able to use your nebulizer to do a breathing treatment. um, I usually opt for the breathing treatment over the rescue inhaler because it gets deeper down into your lungs and it opens your lungs up more and faster. That's what albuterol is and what it does. Home remedies, you can cheat it. Pardon me. You can cheat it with Vicks. You can get eucalyptus and put a pot on the stove with water and eucalyptus leaves in it. It won't be as good as using albuterol or some other prescription type stimulant that you actually inhale down into your lungs. The deeper you can get that medication down into your lungs, the more it'll open you up and the less you'll wheeze and the less you'll have that gaspy, breathless feeling. And I know all about the gaspy, breathless feeling. I was living that all day on Wednesday. Yeah, living with asthma is not the most joyous experience, I know. Um, but yeah, other things that help, steroids, prednisone. If you're really screwed, they'll put you in the ER or the hospital and give you IV steroids. That's how you can tell that you are really, really in bad shape. Um, but yeah, eucalyptus, Vicks Vapor Rub, you can use that to kind of cheat. It's not the best idea to try to handle it outside of the medical setting. Because if you are compromised long enough and your brain and your heart are compromised, lacking oxygen long enough, you will die. I'm pretty sure that I was hours from instead of just spending a couple hours in the ER to being hospitalized. If I had not gone to the ER when I did, I would have probably been spending a couple of days in the hospital just to try to get somewhat back to where I could be at home and not have to worry about spiraling back down into the toilet. But prednisone is your friend, a good nebulizer, and my husband helps me a lot. I also have a service dog that will alert me to if she picks up on problems before I notice them. I have that available to me as well. She knows. My service dog, she knows what to look for. She can detect changes in my body and stuff like that. Okay, Lucius. That's inappropriate. I do not have children. Unfortunately, I live with a condition called PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it interferes with a number of hormones in my body. Not just female hormones, but also things like thyroid and pancreatic function. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah. And because of the PCOS, I cannot have kids. And also now I can't have kids because I'm deep in menopause and the baby factory is closed for business. So now my option for children is adopt or just find the joy in other people's kids. Which is what I've been doing for most of my life. Well, I wish I could have children because I like kids. They're handy little people and they're really smart. Well, thank you. But yeah, as far as asthma, if you can't get to a doctor, there are ways to cheat it, but it's better and safer long term and keeping your health long term. Better if you are working with a medical team. Always important to have a doctor who understands asthma, has a deep understanding of asthma. Yeah, usually that's usually the way it happens. I get people that need help, and then I get people that help me. There's standard asthma, and then there's what I have, which is cough variant asthma. With standard asthma, your signs that you're having a flare are like wheezing and rolls. That's popping, crackling, rubby noises when you're breathing. Um, yeah, usually. That's the contract. And the contract is usually something that only people who have signed up for it, or well, I guess you have to sign up before you come to live the life, but um, when you sign up for it, that's just part of the deal. You help the people you get sent, and you get helped. How do you get rid of boredom? That's a good question. Well, my solution is I have around a dozen of hobbies that I rotate through. And then, of course, I'm always discovering a new one. One of my current hobbies, and these are going to be up on my Shopify store when I actually take the time to take pictures and post them. Yes, that's what I was talking about. That caused my extreme asthma. Get one of these suckers loose. Got a whole bunch of them that I've got made. I need to take pictures of them and put up on my Shopify store. This is what I call a key handle. It's technically just a short lanyard that goes around your wrist. And then you can put all kinds of carabiners here. Or you can use it to tie up small things. Just like that. Like how I've got this set up here. All that's held together. Each bundle is held together with one of its own. And then put on the clip. But there are literally dozens of ways to use these, and I'm still finding ways to use them. But this is one of my hobbies. It's actually one of the hobbies that I do that can pay. Well, if I can't get out and do stuff because the flesh prison is being unruly, good to have things that one can sit and do and not have to worry about. Well, my dad taught me a lot of that stuff. He taught me a whole bunch of different types of knots, and well, he was a Boy Scout. He taught me a ton of different types of knots. I've also got full-length lanyards. And no, this was not an intentional color choice. It just kind of happened. What kind of music do I like? I actually like a little bit of everything. I'm not very much into rap, but a little bit of everything. There's always something that hits with me. But I grew up with, because I grew up playing violin, I grew up with a lot of classical music. My family is, my mom's side is half Irish, half Native American. So I like a lot of folk music. And American folk music, that's country music and bluegrass. So I like a lot of that because I grew up with that. Also like a lot of traditional Celtic music. And actually that's where my cat Molly gets her name, from the traditional Irish song, Molly Malone. Yeah, that's her name, Molly Malone. Yes. It's actually a tragic story. Well, a lot of traditional Irish music is a little bit tragic. But if you know anything about the way that the Irish have been forced to live most of their existence, they've lived the tragedy quite a lot. Disease and whatnot. Because, well, the Irish are also traditionally poor. And Um, when you're poor, you're going to be dealing with a lot of problems with health, a lot of problems with having money to go to the doctor and get proper medical care. And actually, back in the day, that a lot of traditional Irish music stems from, proper medical care was summoning the leech. Summoning the leechmonger. Do a little bleeding. Because, that's how you fix the things. At least that's what they used to think. But they also believed in the asthma theory and stuff like that. And we know that that's all nonsense now, but back in the day, it was the big thing. But yeah, I sell my crafts. No, thank you. I do appreciate the sentiment, though. But yeah, what I do for a living, I sell my crafts. I contemplate murdering my cats because they're smart enough to get into the cabinets. Oh, Patrick Norman. That's a lovely English name. Very awesome. I appreciate that. I like that. I also work as a PCA. That's a personal care assistant. I work with a nonverbal autistic young man. I've worked with him since he was 11. And he's a very cool guy. People think that nonverbal means not interested in what's going on around you, not interested in the world around you, just very shut in on yourself. No. He is absolutely aware of everything that's going on, and he will share his opinion with you. Oh, but he doesn't talk. Well, that's what talking is. Communication, that's very relative, because animals communicate with us, and animals don't speak people. So for them to communicate with us, well, baby, that's not going to happen tonight because I'm still very struggling with the breathing. And the cheerfulness is tied to the being able to breathe good. And so the breathing good isn't happening, so the happy isn't going to happen very well. Mm-hmm. Communication is actually, a lot of communication is nonverbal. So being able to talk like we do, that's not necessary. Yeah, it is what it is. That's okay, babe. But yeah, it's not necessary. It helps. It gives more context. There's less guesswork. But when you're dealing with somebody, whether they come covered in fur or whether they're another human, you need, when they don't use language, like spoken language, you just need to listen in a different way. Oh. Lovely prednisone. I love the lovely prednisone. Yes, yes, the eyes can really tell you a lot. Um, and I mean, just asking them questions when they're making it clear they want something. Like, okay, they're letting you know they're hungry. Okay, what do you want to eat? Show me. That's very simple. That's very direct. What do you want? Show me. Figuring out what to watch on TV, that's a little bit more complicated, but it's still easy to figure out. They will make eye contact when it's something they want. They will avoid eye contact when you're offering them something they don't want. My client, if he's happy, he'll hello, hello, and knock. If he's not happy, he will say bye bye, goodbye, bye bye now. He absolutely has the ability to communicate. He just doesn't use verbal language in a standard way. He's very smart. And dude has a dark sense of humor. Very dark. Um he laughs when we're watching a zombie movie. He laughs when the zombies get a human. Yeah, when the zombies take a living person, um, he he will laugh. He thinks it's hilarious. Dude, be dark, super dark. Um, well, I quote unquote meals. I haven't really been eating full meals the last few days because again, the prednisone messes with um my hunger drive. It messes with my appetite. It makes it harder for me to tell when I'm hungry, when I'm full. All that important stuff. So, the last couple of days, it's been more kind of snacky type stuff. All right, I'll catch you next time. Gang, yeah, Gangan. Yeah, I'm gonna screw this up. Gangan deep. I'll catch you next time. I appreciate you stopping in. Definitely get in touch with a team of doctors about your asthma because that's going to keep you healthy long term and it's going to help you live a longer life. Why, Doodles? Kitty, kitty, kitty. Doodle. Hey, twerp face, come here. Come on. Oh, I fed you and you have no interest in me. I see how it is. Molly's brother is a traitor. He chose my husband over me, even though I'm the one that got up every 3 hours and fed him when he was a pitiful, starving little 3-week-old kitten. Well, thank you. I try. I know a little bit of other languages, and I try to correctly pronounce names. I know half the time I'm not getting it right, but I'm going to give it a shot. Oh. Right now, I'm just trying to get back to normal because I enjoy doing my leather work, but When I can't breathe, it's hard to swing the hammer. It's hard to sit up and do the things that it takes to do that. I enjoy it because it's a very it's a visceral project. It's got I can't think of the word. No. No. My asthma is a long-standing thing that came from uh, unknowingly living in a former meth lab. Yeah, methamphetamine. The tenant that lived in the apartment before I did. I'm not sure what that is. But yeah, you're here in the U.S. If somebody was evicted for having constructed a meth lab in your home, they're supposed to tell you about that before you ever sign a lease. Well, that was slightly less tidy than I was going for. It's been long enough that I'm probably outside the statute of limitations for it. Because this was back in 2009. I mean, if it was still within the statute of limitations, I would consider it. However, I'm not even sure that the business that was the landlord of the building yes, I when I was living in that apartment, I got the worst case of bronchitis that I have ever had in my life. I've still not had a case that was as bad as that. Ever. Um, but, yeah. And it took a long time for me to recover from it. It took literally 3 or 4 months for me to recover from that bout of bronchitis, and I almost had to get a nebulizer at that time because I couldn't be outside. I couldn't do anything. I could barely. I could barely human indoors in a climate controlled environment. I absolutely couldn't be outside. Um, well, hey there, Annabelle. Hi, Theo. I love you too, precious babies. Yeah, Molly's the reason why we don't have nice things. Yeah, yeah. Little turds back there destroying shit. Look at what she did to my blinds. Yeah, it's your Molly to destroy her, aren't you? I saved you from near death, and this is how you thank me. Yeah. She had very nasty feline conjunctivitis when we first got her and Doodles. They were 3 weeks old. Their mom had been run over by a car, and unfortunately, she did not survive the experience. So her and brother needed a new mommy. Hi, that was me. And so the first few weeks of life with them was trying to get them fattened back up and healthy looking. Get little Molly cured of her feline conjunctivitis. Um, very young kittens are like newborn babies. They have no immune system. They get their immune system from their mother's milk. And she didn't have one. She didn't have that kind of help because mom was gone. But with with a lot of TLC, a lot of face cleaning, and a lot of goop in the eyeballs, she got healthy again. And, well, there's a little brat today. Oh, crap. Sorry about that. I'm not managing my shit very well tonight. It's kind of a thing that I do. Saving lives is kind of a thing that I do. The universe sends me the lost ones, and I fix them up and send them back out. Although sometimes some of the lost ones stay. Because I get attached to them, or they get attached to me, or a little bit of both. Every animal in my household currently is a rescued being. Including my husband. Hey, baby. Yeah, you know you're rescued. You know I love you. There's a lady in Enid, Oklahoma that we've got 3. Molly and Doodles live here. The third one lives with my mom in South Kansas City. He lives with her because otherwise she'd be living by herself because my father passed away in 2008, so she's a widow and she doesn't have anybody but us kids and our furry things. Although my younger sister did just get married to a gentleman that has 3 very lovely children. So she got some grandkids by proxy. What kind of animals do I have? Well, we've got the 3 cats, the 2 that live here, and then the one that lives at my mom's house. And then we've got 2 service dogs. My husband's service dog is about 75% retired. We don't ask him to go to like stores and stuff anymore. We don't ask him to go out in public a whole lot because he's gotten to the point where that's really too much for him. So mostly he just does his thing around the house, and whenever him and my husband go out, like, my husband goes fishing with him and stuff. And my service dog, she does mobility support. She also alerts me to when one of my conditions is going off the rails and I need to do something about it. Pardon me, Actually, if Molly was allowed to be a service animal, which that's not a thing here in the U.S. Only dogs and miniature horses in the U.S. can be service animals. Molly is more of an emotional support friend. An emotional support and all-purpose friend. Oh, you want to use the kitty pillow? Alright, there you go. Molly thinks my husband's video game controller makes a fabulous cat pillow. She loves it. It is her friend. She's getting ready to settle in. She has to make it seem like it was her idea, not mine. But yeah, Jane, she'll alert on my, when I'm starting to have problems breathing and what have you. It's actually like 4 in the morning where I am right now. It is the middle of the bloody night. And, well, I'm sorry about that. That is always hard when you're losing a parent. Still got my mom, but we lost my dad in 2008. That was rough business. But it also wasn't really something that we had a choice in. Well, hello, my morning time friends. Oh. Are you gonna fall asleep, Molly? Are you gonna fall asleep? You're looking sleepy. Yeah, Molly is telling me that I probably need to go mind my breathing by doing a breathing treatment. Although the initial problem that I was having, which was why I got up, seems to be resolving itself. Yay. How do you solve prednisone generated problems? Dairy. Lots of dairy. I think I successfully smothered it under the friggin' dairy. But yeah, Molly, she'll alert on me sometimes too. Like what she's doing right now. She's trying to stay awake because she wants to make sure that I do what I'm supposed to do. She doesn't like the sound of the nebulizer machine, but she will hang out until I have it set up and have it all ready to go and am about to turn it on, and then once I do that, she will go wherever it is that she goes when I don't know where she is. Well, my weekend is going to be better than my Wednesday was. Because Wednesday was a total trash dumpster fire. But that is the way it is when your asthma decides to flare because the trees are attempting to generate more trees. Tree pollen. Evil green dust. That is what tree pollen is. I am making a mess all over myself. And I've been wearing the same clothes for 3 days because zero energy. I feel better, I just don't have energy yet. I'm going to dump my phone over again. Ah, well, gotta let the milk cows out. Well, I'm assuming it's dairy cattle, but could also be beef cattle. Molly, do you want me to pet you or do you want to pet yourself? You're so indecisive this morning. So indecisive. Okay, I will move my stuff. Because my stuff is in your furry little way. Boop. Okay, that's the limit to how much I'm going to accommodate you, furball. Oh. I'm willing to bet that milkshake made with brand new fresh cow milk, probably the best of all worlds. Because damn, I love me a good milkshake. My mom tells stories of there was a little homegrown farm down where I grew up. And she said when we were little, she'd take us there and get fresh milk. But that was late 70s, early 80s, and those little mom and pop farms just aren't really a thing around here anymore. They're all some giant operation now. It's kind of sad, really. Because I think things were better. How do you get that flavor going on there? Because there's a dairy here in the Kansas City area called Shadow Farms. Uh, Shadow, Hatto. And they have cookies and cream flavor. They have some real off the wall stuff that I can't even fathom how they would come up with, how they would flavor the milk like that. But they also do it old school. Like their milk comes in glass jars. Now, I really think you can't beat the glass jar milk that's in glass jars. That there's something about the flavor of milk from a glass jar versus from a plastic jug that it's just different. It's hang on, I need to just I need to get sat up straighter. There we go. If I'm sitting up like this, it helps my breathing. It makes it easier. Well, when it's a small farm and it's local, you actually get to have a connection with the farmer. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Trade secrets are trade secrets, and that's important. And you gotta keep your stuff to yourself sometimes. Kitty fluff. Yeah, there's just something about milk in a glass bottle that, well, actually, anything that's bottled in glass, even pop, it just has a different flavor to it, like a different vibe. I, I can't really, I can't really do the words tonight. Um, but yeah, it's just a different thing. Having something that's been bottled in glass or drinking out of an actual glass. Like, I found these vintage Coke cups. And for some reason, both me and my husband and anybody that's a guest in our house, these. Ah. I see. What's for breakfast? Big, hearty frickin' nap for me. Because I've been up since 2 o'clock this morning and it's, what time is it? Oh, holy crap. It's 6 o'clock. I'm gonna be taking myself a fat nap. Actually, probably that's how that's gonna run. Nebulizer treatment and then go lay down once the... Oh, yeah. Pope Francis's funeral is this morning. But yeah, go take a nap after the albuterol shivers wear out. Thing about albuterol is it's a stimulant, and medicine doesn't really care where it goes once it's in the body, so it just goes everywhere. So it just lights your whole body up, and then for about 20 minutes after, I'll be doing this number. Shaky, shaky, shaky. My whole body will. Because, well, yeah, its purpose is to go open my lungs back up. Well, it's done with that now. Let's go find other things to fix. Except it's not fixing, it's just making things shake. But, you know, that is the asthma life. And if your asthma is flared by seasonal triggers like, you know, grass pollen, tree pollen, weed pollen. Weed pollen is not my friend. Tree pollen also not. But if you're flared by stuff like that, springtime is not the most fun time of year. Also, if you have issues with fall pollen stuff, ragweed, goldenrod, double, then fall is not a joyous time until it freezes over. But yeah, I think that's what I'm off to do, is go nebulize myself and go lose consciousness for a little bit. Maybe discover some tissues and blow my face out. Oh wait, no, I did take my Mucinex. I did. I took my Mucinex and my, yeah. Sorry, my brain is going a little woo. And I'm forgetting what I've already done and what I need to do. Okay, but the original purpose, being up, was to conquer the prednisone gut yuck. I hate prednisone, but it makes the lungs open up and be happy, so it is what it is. It's also clearing up the eczema. And actually, the eczema is an outward sign of what's happening in here. And when you ignore it, you pay the price. Price for me was 3 hours in the ER getting poked and prodded and loaded up on medication. But yeah, that's pretty much been my week. And then, of course, the anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing on the 19th. That was hard times. I mean, it's still hard because I still get thrown into what I was seeing and doing and feeling at the time. It's like my younger sister was with the Select Orchestra in Oklahoma City. I didn't know where. I didn't find out she was nowhere near the bombing site until hours later. It was well afternoon. I experienced eczema. That's an autoimmune condition. What causes it to flare is things inside my body going haywire. I get stressed. I get overheated. Or the moon and the stars are wrong. And that is why my face is all flushed and broke out and scuzzy looking. Yeah, I generally have a birthmark right here. Yeah, the eczema has eaten that. It'll come back once it all heals and my skin heals, but yeah. Alright, well, I hope you have a good time with your cows, Patrick. I'll chat with you later. You have a good day. And go out and make somebody else's day better. And I'm going to sign off here and attempt to get a little bit more sleep. I've been talking about my eczema and my asthma and the anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing. Because that was just on the 19th, this last week. I got a kitty tail. And I eat it. Because kitty tails are tasty. This thing here. This is the Molly. My furry little brat. Oh, really? You're gonna get up in my face and then get all with me? Really? You're gonna get all with me? Hmm? Oh, really? Really? She's gonna give it to me now, she says. Now? Really? Oh, she's angry. You don't want my attention, but you do want my attention, but you don't want my attention this way. Well, guess what? You're getting my attention this way. Oh, she sounds so ferocious, doesn't she? Yes. Say hi to the people. Say bye to the people. Hey, don't you knock my crap off just because you're being a butt. Don't do it. Life with cats. That's pretty much what that is. Alright. Well, I'm gonna go mind myself, people. I'll catch you later. Hopefully, next time I see you, my husband and I will have managed the Doom pile. Doom stands for did not organize, only moved. Yeah, that's about 5 months of Doom. And it's Doom that's way past time to have been undoomed. So, yeah, we're gonna deal with that this afternoon. Actually, my husband should be home here pretty soon. Yeah, 6:15. And I've been up since 2. Yay! The joy of prednisone. But, yeah, I'm gonna check out. Talk to y'all later. Remember to be the change you want to see in the world. And just go out and make somebody else's day just a little bit better. Doesn't have to be anything huge. Say hi, wave, give them a smile. Or if you have a little bit of money to spare, that lady that's in front of you that can't afford her groceries, even though they're only $15, help her out. Buy them. Because that may be the best thing that's happened to her in weeks, maybe months. And just remember that y'all are important. Every single one of you is important. Every single one of you is here for a reason. And whatever that reason is, you are enough to get it done. You are important. You are beautiful. You're amazing. You are. Absolutely amazing. And you know the cool thing about love? I don't have to know who you are to love you. That's what's cool about love. As long as you're moving yourself closer to love and further from hate, that's the good stuff, my friends. That's the good stuff. Yeah. Love usually does. But yeah, I'm gonna go do what I need to do to make everybody's day better. And that is to go be unconscious for a little while. Because I get crabby when I haven't had enough sleep. I get unfriendly. And nobody needs that. So, yeah, I'm gonna go do my part for society and go to sleep. And I'll catch you guys later. And remember, share the love. Bye, y'all.